Hi, my name is Stewart. Welcome to my channel. This is episode 2 of my series, Last Chance Filmmaker. In the first episode, I talked a little bit about where I'm at. If you're watching this and you haven't watched that, I would suggest checking that out first. If you have watched that video, let me just take a second to say that this video will be a lot less emotional than that one. With the first video, I was a little bit at the end of my rope with trying to make it and wasn't particularly feeling too great on the day, and things got a little out of hand. Now that I've got that video done though, we're ready to move on. In this video, I'm gonna talk about the 5-year plan I've devised for this whole project. I'm not gonna go into a ton of detail because the plan right now is more of like a general framework. There are things that I wanna accomplish, but the details are a little liquid. For instance, when I talk about wanting to make short films, I may have multiple scripts I can choose from, and I don't, at this point, have a specific one chosen. If I talk about writing scripts, I have a slew of ideas, but I don't know exactly which ones I'll be working on during any given time, or even if some of the ideas will be gotten to during the 5-year period. So you might be asking, why am I bothering with any of this? I remember Casey Neistat using the phrase, without a goal, you can't score. Now, I'm sure that this phrase has existed before Casey Neistat, but that phrase has always spoken to me, but I'm just being really honest with you here. I've had a really hard time executing on it. Why? Well, there's another phrase that is especially popular in certain religious circles. You plan, God laughs. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of my life has been like that. I made plans, decided I wanted things to be a certain way, set goals, and then had my ass handed to me on a silver platter. To be frank, after attempting to make my first feature film, PHX, and having that blow up in my face, I began to slowly move away from the idea of plans and goals. What was the point of having them if they never work out? Fast forward through the years, and I realized that I am running out of time to make this dream happen. Filmmaking, it's the only thing I've ever truly wanted to do in my life, to make movies. I realize I have enough time to maybe give it one more shot, and that's what Last Chance Filmmaker is all about. But as I said earlier, without a goal, you can't score. So what's the plan? Well, back in late 2019, I devised a basic framework for a plan I was going to start executing in 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020. The pandemic started, and for those of us in Los Angeles at the time, it seemed to start a lot earlier than the rest of the country. Things changed quickly. It went from one day people were discussing the possibilities of something happening in the US to the next day when cases started popping up in Washington State and then California. Everything got put on hold in 2020 because honestly, no one knew whether or not they were going to survive. By the end of that year though, there was a feeling like the vaccines were close and maybe we would start to see some normalcy return in 2021. So I decided I would start executing on my plan in 2021. See? Already, you plan, God laughs has struck. It's sneaky that way. Now, if you're really keeping up with everything that I'm saying, you may be thinking to yourself, it's 2022 and I'm watching this video, so does that mean he's already done year 1? Yes, that's exactly what it means. Year 1 of the plan was pretty simple, and I tried to make it as easy as possible. Pay off a certain percentage of my debt, and develop some ideas for both shorts and features. And I did that. I also ended up moving across the country, which is a whole other pretty huge extra thing. But the debt and the ideas were the main part of the plan. The goal was to focus on about 1/3 of my total personal debt, knowing that I was going to be shelling out a pretty penny to move from Los Angeles back to the Nashville area. In the meantime, having a full-time job and moving would take up a fair amount of bandwidth for the first 6 months of the year or so. Plus, I was trying to finish up the Frank's List project, which was also part of my obligations. I figured between all those things and really not knowing how 2021 would play out, that I would set the bar kind of low. And I accomplished every goal I had. I got the chunk of personal debt paid off. I came up with 5 feature film ideas, a couple of short ideas, and I finished the Frank's List project, which is all up on the channel right now if you want to watch any of it. Little shameless plug for you. So now I'm making this video, and it's actually year 2 of the plan. So what's up with year 2? Well, let me first start out by reminding you of that old phrase, you plan, God laughs, because it's only February of 2022, so there's plenty of time for laughing. The plan for this year is to finish out paying off the rest of my personal debt and to write. I have those 5 feature film ideas as well as some shorts I've already written and some new ideas. And my plan is to work on those as I continue to make videos for this channel and try and grow it. For the features, I decided to give myself a little challenge, actually 4 little challenges. Every day in 3-month chunks, my goal is to write a page on whatever script I'm focusing on for that period. If I can do that, then at the end of the 90 days, I have a 90-page screenplay. If the script needs to be more than 90 pages, I'll work that out afterwards. But the goal is that by the end of the year, I will have first drafts of 4 out of 5 of the feature film ideas that I've had. I'm hoping to also get the revisions done on some of the shorts I've already written and write some of the ones I've come up with ideas for. This is certainly not going to be easy because honestly, I don't fancy myself a writer, but I do have ideas. And since I want to direct the ideas I come up with, I've sort of become a writer out of necessity. That's kind of it for year 2. Just get out of debt and write. Now, year 3 is where it certainly gets more complicated. My plans for year 3 are to finish any outstanding short ideas I may have and then shoot at least 2 of them. Now, you may be thinking, that doesn't sound that difficult. And under normal circumstances, I would certainly agree with you. But it being 2022 and there being no end in sight for anything that we are going through right now, I just don't know how that's going to affect self-financed filmmakers like myself. When you don't have the resources to get everyone tested or you don't have the budget to enact the kind of safety protocols that most sets have, how do you get a film made? I think that's going to be the big question that I need to answer before 2023. So I guess another part of my year 2 goal is to figure out how to make that year 3 happen. So let's assume that everything with year 3 goes swimmingly and I have 2 or maybe even 3 shorts by the time it's done. Some or all of them are submitted to festivals, maybe even showing in festivals. In year 4, it's got to be a feature. I know, that sounds like a lot. I get it, big leap. But I have a micro budget feature idea that I'm pretty sure I could do for a reasonable amount. A lot of it takes place in a central location. It's mostly between 2 actors. And it's something that I feel like we haven't really seen in a long time and definitely not in recent memory. I'm actually pretty excited about it. It's an idea that I had several years ago and has gone through multiple iterations before I finally landed on the current version of the concept that feels pretty final to me. I've had several false starts trying to write the thing, but I've been getting ideas for it here and there for the past couple of months, and I feel like now is really the right time to go for it. So while it isn't the script that I'm currently working on for the first of my 90-day script challenges, it will be the next one that I work on, and I'm pretty psyched about that. I'm planning on making a video about my first 90-day challenge, kind of like a what I did and what I learned type of thing. And then because this micro budget script is not going to be easy to write, I think I'm going to make another video for that one that will focus on the struggle of writing something that really has to take into account things like very limited budget and resources. I feel like that would be a valuable video for someone on the same journey. And then we get into year 5. Again, assuming all the stuff in the previous years goes all right, and knock on wood, there are no great disasters personally, professionally, or in the world in general, then year 5 should be another feature. Right now I have 2 possibilities. The first is a script I've been working on for quite some time that feels like it just isn't really the kind of thing that Hollywood is making right now. So if I want to see it made, I think I kind of have to do it myself. The second is a lower budget Richard Linklater style walk and talk film that in order to make it work is definitely going to need some needle drops. And as we know, needle drops can be very expensive. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, a needle drop is the term used for when you insert a piece of commercial music into the movie. In other words, something that wasn't originally scored for the film. Sort of like when Martin Scorsese puts the Rolling Stones' Gimme Shelter in literally every film he makes. That's a needle drop. So that's the plan, as it were. All of you watching this can join me in seeing how long it takes for God to laugh. Maybe we should take bets on it, or I can make a scorecard or something. Anyways, I wanted to do this video because I feel like it is important to make plans and to dream, but to also know how to roll with the punches when they come along. And we all know that they will come along. That's why the plan is malleable. I don't think anything in here can't be shifted around if need be. The biggest threat to any of this happening, as I see it, is the pandemic worsening or money issues. And the way I look at it, those are two things that I can't really control, especially the pandemic. So I'm just going to do my best, keep making these videos, and I guess we'll see how things shake out. Really quick, I just want to say a special thanks to everyone who I've been working with and who has been encouraging me over the past several years. It has definitely meant a lot to me that those people have taken the time to read and give feedback on things, help make things, and sometimes just be an ear to talk to. That's it for this episode of Last Chance Filmmaker. If you made it all the way to the end, I greatly appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so, and I will see you in the next one.